Greetings, Your Excellencies. I am Precious Osinaku, and I'm your host for the Peacemakers podcast. Today, we're going to continue our series on understanding the human nature. And as I said last week, this series is a countdown for our MCI's International Day of Appreciation, which is on the 2nd of April. And I said I also make clearer what we mean by the International Day of Appreciation. So essentially, we're promoting the appreciation culture. This is because we believe that genuine appreciation about who a person is, what they've done, or what they are doing is key to showing that we understand them. To continue this series on understanding the human nature with me, I have the president of the Mediation Training Institute, Ambassador Segun Ogunyannwo. Thank you so much, sir, for being a part of this session.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. Last week, we stated that knowledge empowers, and that my understanding or my attitude to my fellow man is dependent on my understanding of him. So, and you also mentioned the different personality types as promoted by Tim LaHaye. So, would you go over those types again and how they are interrelated?
Yes, thank you very much. There are different schools of thought, so I need to appreciate those who have done some work in this field. You mentioned Tim LaHaye. He wrote 2 books that are very well known. The first is Why You Act the Way You Do, and the second is Spirit-Controlled Temperaments. Incidentally, a woman read those 2 books and wrote her own, Florence Litour. The title of her own is Personality Plus. Wonderful book. It's also the disc format by the late Dr. Zig Ziglar. So let's give some attention to the very popular Tim LaHaye's model. But let's be clear, there are different models. We have the 4, we have the 5, we have the 9, even the 16. So the 4 of the choleric, sanguine, phlegmatic, and melancholic are very well known, and they have a currency that is universal. So very quickly, if you say somebody is a choleric, we're saying that this person, for the positives, the person has that tendency to convert stumbling blocks into stepping stones. They are go-getters. They can see the bigger picture easily, and they make great leaders. What do they need to work on? Generally, for the cholerics, they need to be less domineering and also involve people in the decision-making process. When you involve people in the decision-making process, they will give you the support you need. If you ignore them, you may actually work against your success. So cholerics must learn to be less domineering and also involve people in the decision-making process. The sanguines are the go-merry type, very friendly, very warm. If they meet you first time, so as if they've known you all their lives, they relate very well. They are great marketers, great optimists. What do they need to work on? Most of them are not very organized. So sanguine needs to be more organized. Very important. Very important. Because of all the 4 types, they have the highest chances of success if you can focus. But most of them have the tendency to go off course with equal zeal. That's important for the sanguine to be focused and more organized. The phlegmatics are the calm types. They are reconciled to life. They take life easy. Hardly will you see a phlegmatic moving very, they just take, as if they have the world in their pockets.
Slow and steady.
Yeah, slow and steady. And incidentally, these are some of the expressions we have learned from them. Slow and steady wins the race. A bird in hand is worth more in the bush. The patient dog eats the
Farthest boy.
Not all that glitters is gold. God's time
is the best.
So they just take life easy. What do they need to work on? Most of them don't like taking chances. They don't like taking risks. No, well, life is about risks. So the phlegmatic must learn to take calculated risks. So you don't miss out on opportunities and fail them. Incidentally, too, they make great civil servants because they can go into the civil service and project where they will be in 35 years and work towards it. And I tell her, the mates have left, they're all fingers.
I'm not equal.
The melancholics are also reserved, or they're very introspective. They can see patterns that others cannot see. They're very organized. And because they're very organized, they worry why others are not. So a lot of them are very fastidious. They expect a lot from others because they are very organized. What do they need to work on? Melancholics need to appreciate that not everybody can be as organized
as they are.
Yes, so just allow people be. So for the 4 times, there's no one that is better than others. They're just different.
Yeah.
So God in His infinite wisdom has distributed the different traits. So you can imagine the world filled with cholerics. It's not very well.
I just want to imagine that kind of world.
Long ago. So the important thing is that for each type, you know your areas of strength and your areas of weaknesses, with the aim of amplifying the areas of strength and working to overcome the areas of weaknesses. Only God is perfect. Before we mentioned that the dominant traits, but we all have traces of all of them. And that's why there is hope for me that I can improve myself. It's about knowing areas of strength and areas of weaknesses. Not feeling bad like any type you are, be comfortable with the type. That is what God wants you to be.
I'm tempted to ask, what is your dominant trait?
My dominant traits?
Yeah.
Maybe I should ask you.
Okay, having worked with you, I would ordinarily go for that you're melancholic.
It's that idea of it. I think over time I've been able to blend the 4, depending on what I want to achieve.
Okay.
I can project that trait, achieve that, and
good job.
yes, it depends. And that's the essence of this. You've done it long enough, talking to people about it. It makes you more versatile, it makes you more adaptable. As you relate with each person, you can key into their unique idiosyncrasies. That way, you can flow better. So if I'm used to take choleric, I can raise the tempo and deal with them at that level. Sanguines, that can make a lot of difference. Knowledge empowers.
Exactly.
When you understand the different techniques, it helps you to know how best to relate with them. Even though we have the dominant traits, it's nice to know your 2 most dominant traits. And that can add a lot of value. For instance, if you are choleric and also melancholic, it means that most times what you ask people to do are things you can do yourself. The average choleric asking A to get the job done. Once A cannot do it, brings in B. If B cannot, brings in C. But if you combine melancholic and choleric, once A cannot do, you find yourself stepping and doing it yourself. Choleric with sanguine, that person is the type that can take the lead in a friendly way. Choleric with phlegmatic. As you take the lead, you care about people's feelings. If you combine melancholic with sanguine, there is sanguine that is organized. Combining melancholic with phlegmatic, it means that even though you are very organized, sometimes you can overlook people who may not be as organized as you are. The phlegmatic and sanguine, that person is somebody who cares about relationships. Every time you can make friends easily and lose them easily. If you combine phlegmatic and sanguine, then you care about relationships. You go out of your way to ensure that you sustain relationships. So that combination is key. That we know our 2 dominant traits. There are tests that people can actually take. 2 minutes, 5 minutes test. They can take very quickly without them being classified, and then they classify them later. On the spot, you'll be amazed how your time will just shine through. Wonderful concept. Understanding human nature is something we almost give attention to. Because we cannot relate well with people if we do not understand why they do what they do.
True. And like you will always say, the room for improvement is the largest room in the world, and that's not what it is. It's the largest room in the world. And we all have a right to be different.
Very much so. People are different and they have the right to be different. Let's appreciate people the way they are. The areas of strength and the areas of weaknesses. That understanding can make a lot of difference as we get to it. Thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate
you too. So yes, thank you, Ambassador Segun, for being with us today. And we are promoting the appreciation culture, as we said, because this is real and we have to be intentional about it. Charles Schwab said in his wide association in life, we're meeting great people, we're meeting people that are, exalted people. He's yet to see someone who would not do better or, put in more work under the spirit of approval than with the spirit of criticism. This is because we all love to be recognized. Appreciation is the legal tender that every soul enjoys. So we want you to be a part of this. We want you to be intentional about appreciating people. If you look for the good in a man, you will definitely find it. We'll continue this series same time on our various channels next week. I remain Precious Osinaku.